Yehovah ani shav racham ali chote. Yehovah Svaot, Yehovah of hosts. Yehovah Elohi, Yehovah Svaot. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. Please fill me and lead me and cover me and stir me and speak through me with your Ruach Kodesh, that I may speak your written words with boldness and humility to those who listen. I ask all these things in Yeshua HaMashiach's name. Amen. We'll start with the Shema. Listen and obey. Children of Yehovah, pay careful attention and respond. Yehovah is our power and authority. Yehovah works in unity with himself, and you shall act upon your love to Yehovah with your power and authority, with your thoughts and mind, with your entire body, and with all the muchness that you have. Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. Hand, behold, now, behold. 1 Chronicles chapter 12. Following are the men who joined David at Ziklag while he was still being kept away from Shaul the son of Kish. They were among the warriors who helped him fight his brothers. They were archers who could use either hand to sling stones or shoot arrows from a bow. They were Shaul's kinsmen from Benjamin. Their leader was Ahiezer, then Joash, the son of Shemaiah, the Givati, Yeziel, Pelet, the son of Azmavet, Beracha, Yehu from Anatot, Yishmaiah, the Givoni, one of the strongest of the 30 and the commander of the 30, Yirmiah, Yisziel, Yochanan, Yozavad, and Gedera, Elizuai, Yerimot, Baal-Yah, Shemariah, Shephatiah, the Harufi, Elkanah, Yishayehu, Ezrael, Yoezer, Yoshavam, the Korki, and Yoelah, and Zavadiah, the son of Yeroham from Gedor. From the Gadi, a number of strong, brave, trained fighting men defected to David at the fortress in the desert. They could handle shield and spear. They were as fierce as lions, and they were as fast as deers on a hill. Ezer was the leader, Ovadiah the second, Eliav third, Mishmana fourth, Yemriah fifth, and Attai sixth, Eliel seventh, Yochanan eighth, Elzavad ninth, Yirmiah 10th, and Maccabanai 11th. These descendants of Gad were army commanders. The least of them was worth 100, and the greatest worth 1,000. These are the men who crossed Elatov the Yarden during the first month, when it had overflowed its banks, and drove out Elatov all those who lived in the valleys, both in the east and to the west. From the descendants of Benjamin and Yehuda, number came to David at the fortress. When David went out to meet them, he said, "If you are coming to me in peace, to help me, my heart will be bonded to yours. But if you are coming to betray me to my enemies, then since I have done nothing wrong, may the God of our fathers see it and judge." Then the Spirit covered Elatov Amasai, the chief commander, and he said, "We are yours, David, on your side, son of Yishai. Peace, peace to you, and peace to your helpers, for your God helps you." David welcomed them and made them senior officers. From Manasseh, some defected to David when he was about to go to the Plishtim to fight against Shaul. But they ended up not helping them because the rulers of the Plishtim, after consultation, sent David away, saying, "He will defect to his master Shaul at the cost of our heads." As he was on his way to Ziklag, those who defected to him from Manasseh included Adnach, Yozavad, Yadi'el, Machael, Yozavad, Elihu, and Zilatael. Commanders of thousands from Manasseh, they helped David against the raiding band, for they were all strong, brave men who were commanders in the army. Indeed, reinforcements to assist David reached him daily, until there was a great army, like the army of God. Following are the numbers of those who came armed to war to David in Hebron, in order to transfer him to the kingdom of Shaul, according to what Yehovah had said. The descendants of Yehuda, bearing shields and spears, numbered 6,800, army armed for war. Of the descendants of Shimon, strong, brave men for war, there were 7,100. Of the descendants of Levi, there were 4,600. Jehoiada was the leader of the house of Aaron, and with him were 3,700. Also Zadok, a young man, strong and brave, with 22 commanders from his father's family. Of the descendants of Benjamin, the kinsman of Shaul, there were 3,000, for up until then the majority of them had remained loyal to the house of Shaul. Of the descendants of Ephraim, there were 20,800 strong, brave men, well known in their fathers' families. Of the half-tribe of Manasseh, 18,000 were designated to the name to come to make laMashiach, David, king. Of the descendants of Issachar, men who understood the times and knew what Israel ought to do, there were 200 leaders, and all of their kinsmen were under their command. Of Zebulun, 50,000 men were fit for military service, experienced in war, and able to use all kinds of weapons. They were brave and none was double-minded. Of Naphtali, there were 1,000 officers, and with them 37,000 troops, having shields and spears. Of Dan, 28,600 were experienced in war. Of Ashur, 40,000 men were fit for military service and experienced in war. On the other side of the Jordan, from the Reuveni, the Gadi, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, there were 120,000 of them with all kinds of weapons for battle. All these soldiers who were experienced in war came to Hebron wholeheartedly to make laMashiach, David, king over all Israel, and all the rest from Israel were single-hearted in wanting to make laMashiach, David, king. They remained there with David for 3 days, eating and drinking, for their kinsmen had prepared for them. Moreover, those who were near to them and those who were far in Issachar, Zebulun, and Naphtali brought food and donkeys, camels, mules, and oxen, baked goods, fig cakes, clusters of raisins, wine, oil, and oxen, and the sheep in abundance, for there was joy in Israel. How can we learn to love our Creator after reading this fascinating 12th chapter of 1 Corinthians, 1 Chronicles? We can love Yehovah by standing loyally with His chosen servants. Love Yehovah by offering your gifts and skills to His kingdom. Love Yehovah by seeking unity in His Spirit with His people. How can we love our neighbors as we love ourselves and as Yeshua loves us? By strengthening them in their calling, joining forces for Yehovah's work with one heart. How can we bear one another's burdens? By standing side by side in loyalty, fighting and building together in Yehovah's strength. What are the top 3 fruits of the Spirit found? 1. Loyalty. Mighty men devoted themselves to David. 2. Unity. All tribes came with one heart. 3. Courage. They risked everything to follow Yehovah's anointed. What is the Hebrew word that encapsulates this chapter? Ne'emanut. Loyalty. Faithfulness. Verse 38. All these came with a whole heart to make David king. How can we find Yeshua in the scriptures? David's loyal men foreshadow the disciples' devotion to Yeshua. The tribe's unity prefigures Messiah's gathering his people as one body. Loyalty to the anointed king reflects loyalty to Messiah's eternal reign. Mitzvah response, Torah-based. Mitzvah, Deuteronomy 6 verse 5. Love Yehovah your God with all your heart. A response might look like this: I will give myself in loyalty and unity to Yeshua, my eternal King. Hebrew declaration: Ne'emanut laMashiach mi ahadet et am-Yehovah. Loyalty to Messiah unites the people. of Yehovah. In this Aaronic blessing at the Hebrew New Year, using the name, Yehovah will kneel before you presenting gifts, and he will guard you with a hedge of protection. Yehovah will illuminate the wholeness of his being towards you, bringing order, and he'll provide you with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yehovah will lift up the wholeness of his being and look upon you, set in place all you need to be whole and complete. Shalom, shalom.